13 big league seasons. He has hit 4 so far on the year. Corey Kluber's first pitch, a fastball that sails high. Fastball in the inside corner, and that'll even the count of 1-1. Utley came to the Dodgers a couple of years ago. It was one of those waiver wire deals. The trade happened after the trading deadline. And a nice off-speed pitch in there for a strike to get ahead. And he became a free agent after the 2015 season, re-signed with the Dodgers last year, played in 138 games and hit .252, and then re-signed after last year once again with the Dodgers. Swung on and missed. Corey Kluber comes right back and strikes him out on 3 pitches after missing with his initial offering.
Well, you can tell that breaking ball is back again. Corey Kluber, you'll look at it on the Nissan pitch tracker, 86 mile an hour, like the curve ball, harder than a slider and more tilt, and he gets the first swing and miss.
Corey Seager 2 for 5 with a run scored last night, and he looks at a ball outside. Got a piece into the glove of Yan Gomes. His older brother Kyle was a 3rd round pick of the Mariners back in '09. We've seen him a number of years. Another foul by Seager, and he's in the hole 1-2.
Now Corey breaking out the changeup against the left-handed hitter, not a bad deal. That's where he throws most of his changeup to are the left-handers.
Now the line and the 1-2. Got him looking. Painted a fastball in the inside corner, and that one humming in there at 94 miles an hour.
I want to see if that was the old comeback fastball. This is where he gets his strikeouts with left-handers. When he gets the 2 strikes, he starts it at the front hip and watch the comeback to it. And there it was. Had a little comeback on the inside edge. Beautiful pitch. And that's what locks up the left-handers. They think that ball is going to stay inside. It's got great movement.
Especially 94 with that kind of movement. Now Justin Turner. The 1-0, up and away with a fastball. If you didn't know where the Dodgers were located, by the way he unbuttons the top part of his jersey, it leaves no doubt that they're from LA.
I don't think he has buttons on that jersey. That's only what, the 10th 3-0 count for Corey?
10th this year.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's only the number 10.
Talking about that before the game. It's bullseye with a fastball, and that is also no surprise. Not unique. I'm sure most pitchers, when they get behind 3-0, are coming with a fastball. Some hitters like the keyhole and they'll swing. A lot of hitters just, they don't trust themselves, so they won't swing no matter what. Swing and a miss, full count.
They don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves to swing at the pitch that they're looking for. They actually go out of their zone. They elevated it there.
They get too anxious.
Exactly. I know what you were saying, but I just wanted to make sure, because that's what hitters do. They want to hit. They don't want to walk.
Payoff pitch. Hit off the end of the bat to first. Easy play for Santana. He'll take it himself. And Corey Kluber works a 1-2-3 first. The Indians are coming to bat. By Progressive Insurance. Bradley Zimmer is in the leadoff spot. Jason Kipnis was a late scratch with neck spasms tonight. Lindor, Brantley, Santana, Encarnacion, Ramirez, Chisenhall, Gomes, and Eric Gonzalez will play second base, and he bats ninth.
Brandon McCarthy, the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Dodgers, and he's coming off his last two starts. He's pitched well, but to no avail. He lost both starts, but 11 career starts against the Indians. He's 6-5, and 6 starts here at Progressive Field. He's gone 4-1 with a 3.70 ERA in his career that spans since 2005.
Bradley Zimmer was originally batting ninth in the starting lineup, but with the scratch to Kipnis, Terry Francona just vaulting Zimmer from ninth to first and inserting Gonzalez into the lineup, adding him ninth.
I like the move. I like the move a lot.
Broken bat, Blue. Will it drop? Coming hard is Taylor. No, he's there in plenty of time. One down. Just had too much air under it.
Let's check the Dodgers D, brought to you by WB Mason. Taylor making that catch. He's out in left field. Peterson is in center. Puig over in right. Forsythe gets the start at third base. Seager's at short. Utley at second. Bellinger back at first. Grandal doing the catching.
Dave Roberts in his second year as the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Francisco Lindor leading off, takes outside, ball one.
McCarthy, a fastball. He cuts the fastball a lot more than he ever used to. A curveball, changeup. He's a guy a lot like Corey Kluber. He averages about 15 pitches per inning. He likes to throw strikes. Only 15 walks in his 58 innings pitched.
He gets ahead of him 1-2. Fouled right back. Missed and that'll leave in a count of 2-2. Threw his bat at it. Remember UL Washington? Yeah. One of your contemporaries, he would play with a toothpick in his mouth.
Yes, he did.
Not recommended for kids at home. Frankie's been gnawing on his necklace. He spit it out. He spit the bit.
He did. I'd never noticed that before. He had it in there for about 2 or 3 pitches.
Guess he got tired of it.
Didn't taste good.
Full count. Michael Brantley waits on deck here in the first. 1 out, bases empty. And the payoff pitch. And Lindor sends a high fly ball left field over near the line. Taylor makes the catch. 2 down. Let's go down to Andre.
You know, Rick made a great point about McCarthy using the cutter and using it more than ever before. He threw it 13.3% of the time in his last 3 seasons. This year, it's up to 31% of the time he's throwing the cutter. He throws all 4 pitches to the lefties, but the reason he's using the cutter more this year, guys, Dodgers pitching coach Rick Honeycutt gave him a new grip in spring. He says he trusts it and believes in it, and he loves what it's been able to do for him against lefties. That's why he's used it so much so far this season.
Isn't it amazing? He's been in the big leagues 12 years, and you can still get a tip from a pitching coach that can help you out and go to it. So if he throws that little 2-seamer there that goes away, and it's at 94, and he can cut it into the left-handers, and I can see why it's going to be a very effective pitch. It keeps it from hanging out over the plate.
You know, McCarthy's one of those guys, you look at his stuff, and his stuff doesn't maybe wow you the way some guys do. But Bob Melvin, who's a bench coach for Dave Roberts here with the Dodgers, he managed McCarthy in Oakland, and he said he really gets into preparing for each lineup that he faces.
You meant Bob Guerin.
I'm sorry, Bob Guerin. Yeah.
Right. He does. And you know, he missed 2015 and 16 with the Tommy John surgery. So, you know, he's finally coming back. He's healthy again, and he's throwing the ball well for the Dodgers.
Missed up and in.
There's the cutter we were talking about. That's the pitch that keeps the lefties honest. That's why he'll throw it to those lefties much more so. But that's where you miss. If you miss with the cutter, you got to miss in off the plate. You can't leave it out over the plate where it doesn't spin, because they go a long way.
Brantley shoots it fair down the right field line. Puig chases after it. Brantley into second base with a 2-out double. So many times you'll see a left-handed hitter turn on that pitch, but they can't keep it fair.
That was just a straight 4-seamer. He gets the hands in. He let it get deep in there, and I mean, it stayed right on the line. No doubt about it. So Michael Brantley will get his 12th double of the year. I'll give Santana a chance with 2 outs now in the first.
Upstairs, ball 1. Santana 0 for 4 last night. Well, you think about the trade that the Indians made at the deadline back in 08 when they sent Casey Blake to the Dodgers to get Carlos Santana. You know, at the time, Santana was a young catcher, and you were thinking, boy, that's a heck of a trade to get a young catcher.
Signed as a third baseman.
Santana is a free agent at the end of the year. McCarthy's 2-1 pitch. And that is barely a strike, although Santana would beg to differ with home plate umpire James Hoy. That was not a strike.
No, it didn't look like it, because that's moving away. And Carlos has a pretty good knowledge of that strike zone.
Santana, a career best 34 home runs last year. So far this season, he has hit 8 to go along with 16 doubles, 1 triple. Looking for a 2-out hit here. 17 hits with runners in scoring position on the year as he fouls this one back. He's had a lot of opportunities, which stands to reason when you bat in the middle of the lineup. He's gone 17 for 66, so the average at 258, but the 17 hits far and away the most of any Indian with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that first month he was leading off.
Popped him up, foul ground. This should end the inning. No runs, a hit. A man left. No score after 1. Indians looking for an early response after losing the series opener last night. And the rookie watch. Bradley Zimmer for the Tribe and Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers, who belted 2 home runs and a double in going 3 for 4 last night. He has hit 17 already this year, and he's only played in this his 46th game of the year. There's Bradley Zimmer waiting to make his impact on this game as Bellinger takes a strike. Yeah, that's hot. That's sizzling.
Well, you get on a tear, and you had 2 homers on Sunday. There you go. Run 1 in on his hands, and he pops it straight up.
1 down.
You know, you're going to throw that cutter. You want that cut fastball, and it runs in. That's an excellent pitch, belt high. There's no way you can get the head of the bat out in front of that. If you do, you're going to hit a foul ball, and I mean it's going to be really foul if you want to hit it hard. But you know, you're so geared to get that barrel head out in front on that fastball that you just can't make the adjustment.
Yasmani Grandal swings and fouls it back. Way outside, 1-1.
They've thrown Yasmani Grandal a lot of breaking balls here in game 1 and now 2. Stayed with the fastball but misses high.
And a called strike. Full count.
Those last 2 pitches very similar. One was called a ball, the other a strike. Yeah, the ball, his workload coming from this side of the plate.
He draws a walk. Kia in the driver's seat. Corey Kluber in interleague play has been tough to score against. We saw the toughest last night, and those numbers held pretty much true to form.
Yes, they did.
Kershaw allowed just 2 runs in 7 innings of work. He struck out 4, walked 2, and allowed 6 hits. Swung on and missed by Chris Taylor. You know, you wonder sometimes, a guy like Corey Kluber, in much the way the Indians had to deal with Kershaw last night, is you wonder, is there an advantage to knowing a guy, or is it better off, is ignorance bliss in this case? Just go up there and try to wail away.
Well, that's not a bad idea when you got guys around the plate. I mean, the Dodgers have to be going into this game thinking the same thing. They're facing the Indians' best and one of the best pitchers in the game in Corey Kluber. But I thought the Indians did a nice job as far as an approach against Kershaw last night. They got themselves into hitters counts, and they had some good swings, but you know, the best, they're going to win. Good pitching stops good hitting. Always does. So maybe sometimes ignorance is okay, to go up there and just see the ball and hit it.
Well, if you've got a bad history, I mean, if a guy has just tied you up in knots, maybe it kind of works against you almost.
Yeah, it can. Or you just know he's got my number. I can't pick up the baseball. Or sometimes you're beat before you get in the box.
Ground ball to third by Ramirez down the line. This is trouble. All the way around is Yasmani Grandal, and they're going to put the stop sign on him.
Well, now after you see the relay, you're hoping they're hoping they would have sent him, because it was over the head of Lindor. But
I'm glad they didn't.
Well, Taylor, I mean, he got this ball and hits it on the ground. It gets all the way into the corner. Let's see what happens to Brantley on the relay, because he had to stop him. Every third base coach, you anticipate a good relay throw. This one gets down into the corner, and by the time Michael gets there, there's the catcher running. So you don't expect him to score. He stops him, but watch the throw get by him. You know what? It's almost like Lindor just missed that ball. It wasn't over his head.
Well, now the Indians bring the infield in. Second and third, 1 out. Logan Forsythe, the batter. Last night he was 1 for 2, but drew 3 walks. So the former Tampa Bay Ray has a good eye at the plate, and he takes ball 1. Count evens 1-1.
This is where Kluber and the best they come back out, and you'll probably see a lot of breaking balls in this situation. Unless you try and run a fastball inside to get him to pop it up in. But your best we saw early last night with Kershaw. First inning, they had a man on third and less than 2 outs. He got a quick pop up. He did it a couple times until Brantley got the 2-out base hit.
Got him.
I mean, dotted the
perfectly.
Yeah,
into the outside corner.
That fastball was right on the outside edge. Perfect pitch.
Gets ahead of him 1-2. And now this is where you look for Kluber, because we talked about this, you and I, before the game. When he gets to 2 strikes, 26 of his 36 strikeouts against right-handed batters this year have come with his curveball.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter. Went with another fastball.
Yeah.
But they fouled it off. You know, that's what you get as a hitter. You would have to think they're looking for his slider, his best pitch. And if you can do that with his fastball, foul it off, because he made a perfect pitch with the one before that. You can either look for the punch out or the pop up here.
One-two pitch. Reached for it, fouled it off. Kluber trying to put Forsythe away here. Second and third, 1 out. Infield in. Just missed with a heater.
Keep him honest on the inside part of the plate. It's a good pitch. He missed in off the plate.
Here's the 2-2. Punched it, foul, and out of play.
That's a tough pitch to foul off, and he's fouled off a couple of good ones. This one probably outside, maybe for a ball. It is. It's not a strike, but look at him. He reaches out there and just flicks that bat at the last minute just to get a piece of it to live for another pitch. Pretty good job of hitting right there. That's how tough hitting is. Even when you hit it weakly, if you stay alive, you can last for one more pitch and hope you get a mistake. Hitting with 2 strikes.
High pop, shallow. In comes Chisenhall.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to make it.
Grandal tags. He bluffs. The throw is right on the money. He would have been out by 20 feet.
Well,
2 down.
He got the job done. Went back to that breaking ball. He didn't get enough of it. And you know, Chisenhall with a very good arm. You can't send your catcher in that situation. So good job to get it into your cutoff man or your relay man. So now Corey with a chance to get out of the inning.
You know, you always say as a base coach, you count on 2 good throws. You know, and you're expecting them to make 2 good relay throws. But when you see the relay throw go over the cutoff man and by the other guy, I wonder if a third base coach says, "Gosh, maybe I should have sent him."
Well, he says it then, but that's that's too late. That's a split-second decision. That's a tough decision. You don't want to make an out at home plate, especially when you only have 1 out.
Because if Lindor would have caught that,
he should have, I thought,
and they would have sent him.
He's out.
Yeah, he'd have been toast. Here's Jock Peterson, left-handed hitter with power. Takes a strike. He was 0 for 4 last night with a walk. He only has 2 homers on the year, but don't let that fool you. This guy has the tools. Last year he hit 25 homers. The year before that 26.
Nice pitch. All day long you can go up there to a left-hander above the belt inside. There's not much you can do with it. Now you go down and in, it's a different story. But if you elevate that pitch belt high, it's awfully tough to get your hands up to get to it. Kluber's had 5 0-2 1-2 counts already.
And with second and third and 2 down, Kluber's 0-2 pitch is in the dirt, and Peterson able to lay off. And the 1-2. Little jam shot towards third. Going to be a tough play for Ramirez. He can't come up with it, and the Dodgers take the lead on a ball that never got more than 35-45 feet up the third base line. And LA makes it 1-0.
Well, that's a play you can't defend. You're playing back. You have 2 strikes. You have 2 outs. You can see how deep it is. That ball got so deep in on him that he just had to fight it off, and he happened to put it in fair territory. No way Ramirez could make that play, even if he gets rid of it, and cleanly he doesn't get him. So they'll take a 1-0 lead. Peterson gets his 12th RBI, and the inning will continue on just on a pitch that Corey Kluber made was a very good pitch.
Yasiel Puig, who made quite a contingent of new fans here at Progressive Field last night. Runner goes, throw down to second. Now they're coming home with the throw, and it's way offline. And scoring on the play is Taylor.
That's a well-run play by the Dodgers right there. You send the runner, and if you throw through, you leave as soon as that ball. Taylor did a great job of taking off after the ball. You see him take off after it left Gomes' hand. That put pressure on Gonzalez to make a good throw home, and he didn't, because he saw the break that he had. And he almost hit Kluber in the head with that ball. He spiked it down. Look at him put his hand at the top of his head. That play was run very well by the Dodgers on the double steal.
Well, if anyone wonders why wouldn't Gonzalez just have tried to tag out Peterson, well, he put the brakes on as soon as he saw Gonzalez take the throw. He was going to try and get a rundown, and Puig beats it out for an infield single. So the only play really was to come home and try to cut the run off there. And they that's what you do. You come in front of the bag, you take the throw, and you throw it home. If they do that, and you see Lindor is going to try and bounce it, but then Puig beats it out. The speed, the big man got down the line very well. 3 of the last 4 hitters in the Dodgers order have come up with hits against Corey Kluber, although the last 2 have not left the infield. And the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead.
Well, I'll tell you, the aggressiveness of them on the base pass there, first and third double steal. That's a Dave Roberts play if I see anything right there. That was well run.
Roberts made his major league debut with the Indians back in 1999. Spent 3 years with the Indians before going to the Dodgers. Runner goes again. Throw to third, and they've got him in a rundown. Ramirez running him towards home. Still running. Gomes with the flip back to Lindor, and the inning is over. Now this time the Indians catch the Dodgers, but not before LA scores a pair, and they lead at 2-0. 2-0 Dodgers. Indians bat here in the bottom of the second with Edwin Encarnacion leading it off. And Brandon McCarthy misses inside, ball one.
Three straight. Two seamers coming in.
And it's off the plate for ball four.
There you go. There's your start. Now let's go back and look at the play of last inning. They were trying to do the same things, and Gomes wasn't going to fall for it twice. He did not throw it through that time. They went right to third base because they worked it down the line, and you can tell that's a play they work on. Unfortunately, it worked once before they were able to get him done. So it did cost them a run the first time, but they were able to get him the second time they tried it. You knew they had to try it again with Puig on first.
You know, you wonder about those things, Rick. You go to spring training, you watch the teams work on all of those plays the first week or so of camp. You get it all, you know, refreshed in your mind and ingrained. But then you might go weeks without a situation ever arising in a game where you have one of those rundown plays. And so everybody has to remember, and you could see at the end of that play, Yan Gomes telling Ramirez, he was kind of giving him the speed up sign as to either indicate, look, you've got to run him back to me faster, or you've got to get rid of the ball quicker.
Yeah, you're talking about the rundown plays. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you may go a while without it, but you run it until you get a guy committed going one way, and then you close the gap. You know, you should be able to do it in one throw. If you can't, it shouldn't take more than two.
Ramirez hits a high, towering fly ball to right center field. Puig calling for it. It's one down. Stat of the game is brought to you by Buick, and the Indians have really taken their lumps in interleague play thus far. They've lost 8 out of 9. They have not won a game against the NL West. They've been outscored by a wide margin. Really nothing good to talk about.
Not in interleague play, not yet anyway. They'll have 10 games remaining after tonight.
Seattle has jumped Irvin Santana for 2 runs in Minnesota. Mariners 2-0 in the second over Minnesota. Diamondbacks lead the Tigers 2-1. They're in the 5th in Motown. Right now, Lonnie Chisenhall, who struck out on the 9th inning last night, but the ball went to the backstop, and by the time he took off for first base, Grandal's throw to first ended up hitting Chisenhall on the back of the helmet, and that gave the Indians another chance to stay alive, and Daniel Robertson took advantage of it, hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, it brought him within striking distance, no question.
Forced the Dodgers to have to use their closer Kenley Jansen, albeit only for a few pitches, as he was able to come on and strike out Jason Kipnis to end the game. Outside, 3-0. Now McCarthy, he's in danger of walking his second hitter of the inning, and this is a guy who's pretty stingy when it comes to walking people.
Well, he just walked Encarnacion. That's the 16th walk this year for him. He's normally, you're right. Rarely does he get to a 2-0 count on hitters.
Since his first big league start in 05, or his first full big league season, he's 14th among active major league pitchers by averaging only 2.35 walks per 9 innings. Foul back out of play. He had a stretch from April of 09 till July of 2016 where he did not walk more than 3 batters in 122 consecutive starts.
Well, to me, that's one of the keys to pitching. No free passes. You make hitters hit their way on and hit you out of the ballpark. That's different.
Oh, there's a double play ball. And that will end the inning. We've played 2. It's the Dodgers 2 and the Indians nothing. Nachos. Now that guy, he's just getting a plate, but up top there they've got the helmet full of nachos. That's what you want to have when you sit down in your seat to watch a ball game. Huh?
Fat free.
Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre not downstairs, and we're joined in the booth now by Brad Grant, Indians Director of Scouting. The draft has just concluded, and obviously this is the culmination of, I can't imagine how many hours of work, how many miles scouts have traveled around the country and the world looking for some of the best players.
Yeah, our scouts do an amazing job. In fact, tomorrow it starts all over again for us. So we just finished 3 days of the draft today, and they hit the ground running and start on the 2018 class tomorrow down in Fort Myers.
No rest for the weary.
No rest for the weary.
Obviously, it's an interesting draft for you guys this year because the #1 pick was forfeited with the signing of Edwin Encarnacion in the offseason, but really some talented, some interesting looking high school picks. Quentin Holmes, a fleet-footed outfielder, and then the second pick I saw was Tyler Freeman, a guy potentially could play shortstop. So tell us a little bit about each of those 2 guys.
Yeah, 2 very exciting players. 2 players we're really happy to be able to have the chance to draft. Quentin, the thing that really stands out with him is his impact speed. He can fly. It just played for the Dodgers there on the bases, and it's something to be able to bring into the system that's great. He's a center fielder, played from Brooklyn, New York, high school player. Played in all the summer showcases this year and performed very well against some of the best high school pitching out there. So to have that run tool to be able to play plus defense in center field and then be able to make contact with the bat, it's an exciting player to have.
Yeah, it's nice to get speed every once in a while, isn't it? Because everybody's talking long ball and let's hit, but when you can get somebody on the bases and make something happen, that's a lot of fun too, because they say speed never goes into slumps.
Speed never goes into slumps. When you look at all the shifts now and all those things, you can push the ball the other way and beat it out. There's a lot of things you can do.
Ground ball to Eric Gonzalez. He takes care of Chase Utley. 1 down as we take a look at the top 2 picks. Quentin Holmes, the outfielder, and Tyler Freeman. I heard someone say they thought Freeman could potentially compare to a Jordy Mercer type player, a middle infielder. Obviously, when you take high school guys, there's a lot of physical development along with the the mental skills that go along with getting to the big leagues.
Yeah, he with Tyler, he's a shortstop who we're going to continue to develop as a shortstop. What really stands out with him is his ability to hit. He hit .536 this year in the state of California and led the state in batting average. And performed extremely well. Another guy who performed really well against the better high school pitchers in the country this summer. Really, really good hitter who's going to develop some power and be able to play shortstop. So another player that we think really highly of.
You know, I had somebody ask me today, when you get deeper into the draft and you know, there's a lot of picks taken and you're down in after 10th round. I mean, is it sort of like a crapshoot where you're looking just for some names you might have had on the board that are still around?
Yeah, it's a great question. The draft's 40 rounds. So,
right.
yeah.
I mean, so you've got to have a number of guys that you have targeted.
We have 800 players on our draft board when we get in there. And what we do on day 3 is we really trust our scouts. Our scouts are the lifeline to what we do and how we go about it. And those guys do an unbelievable job of scouring the country and finding the best players out there. The thing I think that's led to our success is the continuity and consistency to how we do it too.
But I mean, you get down there and it happens so quickly. I mean, so somebody's on the phone or you're on the computer and you know who gets picked, and now you're up and hey, there's our guy. We want this guy. Go get him.
That's it.
And it happens that quickly.
It happens that quickly. Yeah, it's pick by pick by pick. So the first round slows down. The first round's 5 minutes between selection, and then it's 1 minute between selections from 2 to
1
10.
minute.
Yeah.
1 minute. Now, Brad, you know there's a lot of people watching this right now that have at least participated in a fantasy football draft or two, and they can't make a pick in 1 minute, and they're only talking about dealing with some of the best players in pro football. So the pressure's got to be a little bit tough at times.
Well, and you're not just making the pick; you're actually also trying to make sure that that you can get a signing agreement in place, that you have an understanding of what they're going to sign for. So. You're also dealing with the fact that other teams are taking the players that you want. So as those players are coming down, you have 4 players that you're looking at thinking, oh, I'm going to get this one. So we start to call to make sure that we have an understanding of what they'll sign for. And then all of a sudden that player gets taken and we have to react to the next one. So you're balancing a whole lot.
No, Brad, down by third base. You know the face, you know the voice. All right, I'll wave
Hello,
to you.
Andre.
How you doing, man? I got to ask this question. Tito told me a story of him walking in during the first day of the draft, and he said after about the first 10, 12 picks, you guys pinpointed 4 players that you knew that would probably be around when you picked. How do you know how the draft's going to play out that early ahead to know the type of guys that you could probably pick when you come up?
If I tell you, then you'll take my job, right?
No,
don't tell him, Brad. Don't tell him.
Until they kick me out from down here, I won't.
No, it's a great question. That's where the analytics side comes into play for us. So, we obviously 25 scouts. Our scouts are the ones who start the evaluation process. Our scouts are the ones who get the players on the board. And those guys are the ones who drive the whole process. But then we layer on a lot of different information on top of it. And we're able to pretty much narrow things down and have an idea of who we're going to take.
Corey Kluber breezes through the top half of the third. We're going to keep Brad around and see if he can get the Tribe some runs. It's 2-0 Dodgers, middle of the third. scouting. They just concluded the Major League Baseball draft. The Indians infusing 40 new players into the system. Now they may not get all 40 of them signed because there's only so many spots every year. But you've drafted 40 players, and is that the very next process, getting each guy to try and sign on the dotted line? And who's in charge of getting all of that done?
Yes, that's the next process, is getting all those commitments in place and getting those players signed. And we work collectively as a front office to try to work through those negotiations, and each person helps through that process. But in the end, you know, the goal is just to sign as many as we can and get them out into the plant. Sometimes
you always read so-and-so was drafted by the Indians. He was signed by scout, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Do the scouts, are they actually responsible for saying, all right, here's your contract, now sign this so I can get paid?
Yeah, it's changed a little bit now with our medical process and everything, but the area scout, we have 17 area scouts, and it's almost set up. It's set up like a sales force. So each area scout has a region. Our scout here, Junie Melendez, or now it's Andrew Krause in Ohio.
They changed a lot.
Well, we promoted Junie, so Andrew has Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, and then he's responsible for that. And then Junie actually will oversee a region of 4 scouts. So we have 5 regional guys and then 2 national guys.
Wow,
so
it's a lot to keep track of, folks. It's amazing. Now, I was going to ask you about Jonathan Rodriguez, your 3rd pick this year. Carlos Beltran has his own school already?
Yeah, he's got an academy down there, a baseball academy in Puerto Rico, and Jonathan's a player that we've tracked for a while. He's another guy that we feel can hit, and he's only 17 years old now, and we think, you know, because of the contact rate that he has, his power is going to continue to develop. He's going to continue to get stronger. He's going to continue to get bigger and be a corner outfielder for us. If you look at Edwin Encarnacion, he was 17.2, I think, when he was in Puerto Rico and he was drafted, and another type of guy that was more of a contact bat and developed power as he got older and got stronger.
Yeah, that's just the thing. People think, okay, you know, this guy's going to come out. That's the one thing in baseball that doesn't happen. You've got to go learn the hard way, and it's a day after day after day. It's a marathon and not a sprint. You're playing more than 3 times a week.
That's it. That's the biggest thing.
And people don't understand it.
That's it. That's exactly it. And that's what you know. That's exactly what you know. And the thing is baseball's a game of failure.
Yeah.
And you're going to run into adversity. You're going to run into failure at some point, and it's how you handle that failure. And that's what we really, really look for with the players that we draft. So we're looking for guys that have overcome adversity, and when they've faced adversity, it's not just relying back on talent, it's relying on hard work and effort, and how am I going to challenge myself to
Yeah,
get
most
better.
of the best players in the country, you know, they haven't really failed a whole lot. When you get to pro baseball, you're going to fail. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, Tyler Freeman hits 536, and you know,
right.
In California, he's going to walk into professional baseball and hit 200.
Yeah.
So that's just part of the game, as you know, and as you've been through. So it's how you handle that, and then routines that you fall back on to, and then how you understand your mechanics. Those are all things that we're interviewing for. Those are all things that we're talking about with the players, and trying to get a feel for it. And once we get them into our system too, if they don't have that understanding of routines or understanding of mechanics, we know right away how to help them with that.
Slow chopper.
He's going to go.
And the throw is not in time.
Fair ball.
That was a goofy looking play, wasn't it?
That's because the big man got down the line in a hurry, and he had no alley to throw the baseball. McCarthy came over. I would have let it go.
He tried to throw it like be almost around his body.
I might have let that ball go to see if it would have rolled foul, because I really don't think he had a good opportunity to get him. He tried his best. I'll tell you what, that's a heck of a play.
Dodgers are going to challenge this.
They are. Let's see if he throws him out.
I think they got him.
If he holds on to it. Well, the umpire almost got hit in the head with it. So that was a heck of a play. I didn't realize he caught the ball. He did pick it.
Yeah, he did. Brad, before the inning ends, I want to ask you one more question about the draft. Does the organizational philosophy ever change year to year as far as drafting for need, you know, organizational depth versus, hey, this is too good a player, I don't care if we already have 6 outfielders?
Yeah, no, we definitely draft for the best player available. With minor league baseball, with it being a process of 4 to 5 years, you don't know what your major league needs are going to be. We're not like the NFL, we're not like the NBA, where you just draft a player and send them right out. and start playing at that level. So our needs at the major league level are going to change. So we're focusing completely on trying to take the best player available. I think if you look at a bunch of our drafts over the past couple of years, it's been, you know, outfielders, and we've been okay with that.
Brad, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
That's Brad Grant, Director of Amateur Scouting. The call is overturned. The Indians go in order. It's 2-0 LA after 3. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Fourth inning, 2-0 Dodgers. And for LA, Cody Bellinger, Yasmani Grandal, and Chris Taylor due up. Bellinger fouled out his first time up. Kluber ran one in on his hands, didn't let him extend. And that's the thing with Bellinger that we saw last night. It's one thing to pitch him in, but if you're going to pitch him in, you better bury it in, because if you leave a spinner, even if it's inside, he's able to get the bat head out and keep it fair and hit it a long way.
Well, you know, he has that big swing. I mean, that's not a big swing, but the loop where it comes up in a high follow through. But you know what? You've got to challenge him with fastballs and see those hands. He's going to hit some, but you get him inside. There was a couple hangers last night that he had. But I mean, any left-handed hitter that can hit a home run off Andrew Miller, you got to tip your cap to. And Boone Logan again hung a slider too.
Swung out and missed. And it's 2-2.
Nice breaking ball going inside there. Got him in with a fastball, belt high inside the last time. Change up.
Oh yeah, perfect pitch. You can see Bellinger knew he was toast the minute it crossed home plate. He gave up on it thinking it was going to miss inside, but that's that fastball that has run against the left-handed hitter. Fourth K for Kluber. And it brings up Yasmani Grandal, who walked and scored in the second.
There it is, that fastball that comes back. The same thing that happened to Seager back in the first inning.
Somebody might look at that and think, boy, how do you not swing at that pitch? It looks like it's right down the middle.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Ball's moving.
I don't know if television gives it the.
No.
You know,
that's that super slow-mo cam where you see the spin and they're saying, look at it. Well, look at it. You have less than a second to even make up your mind.
Yeah, that pitch is still traveling mid-90s. Oh, man.
Then you get another one that goes another way like that. So,
Spins
I mean,
back.
he shows you that one. He saves that comeback fastball till you get to 2 strikes where he hasn't shown it to you before. So you give up on it thinking it's a 4-seam fastball.
Weak ground ball to first. 2 down.
Well, RBI Baseball features fast-paced MLB action with all your favorite MLB teams and players. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Two down for Chris Taylor. Missed a bit outside. That one took off, lost it up and in, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Chris Taylor, who grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, was not drafted coming out of high school. He went to the University of Virginia, and after his career with the Cavaliers was a 5th-round pick of the Mariners in 2012. Fly ball to center. Brad Zimmer makes the catch, and Corey Kluber has retired the last 6 hitters in a row. And the Indians will send Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, and that guy to the plate. against Brandon McCarthy.
He's hitting third this inning.
I want that guy up there with the beard. Need somebody to intimidate. Brandon McCarthy has not given up more than one hit tonight. He gave up a 2-out double to Michael Brantley in the first. He walked Edwin Encarnacion to start the second. That's been it for the Indians so far. I was trying to think, Rick, if it's a good thing following Clayton Kershaw in a starting rotation, or if there's anything that would be bad about it.
Well, you've got a guy that's been around a long time. You know, he knows how to pitch. He's aggressive.
I mean, on one hand, you're like, well, nobody's stuff's going to be as good. So on one hand, you think, well, maybe that's the advantage to the hitter. On the other hand, maybe there's a residual effect of, man, we just got dominated by that guy last night. So maybe there's a hitter hangover that works in your favor.
Well, yeah, this is the big leagues. You see good pitchers all the time. You may not see the ultimate like Kershaw every night, but you see good pitchers every night.
Well, as you said, McCarthy, a veteran, he's been around for. It's hard to believe he's pitched as long as he has. First season was 2005.
I know.
Because he doesn't look that old. You look out there and you think, oh, he looks like he's a couple years out of college, maybe. Smashed foul.
Yeah, he's pitched with the White Sox, the Rangers, the Athletics, the Diamondbacks, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. So he's been around. He knows the American League. He knows the National League.
And we had a great shot last night after Kershaw was done. McCarthy was standing right next to him talking, and I could tell he was asking him certain things. I could almost read his lips, curveballs, cutters, asking him what he threw, how many maybe that he used.
Yeah, he's just trying to incorporate it into his game plan because, you know, everyone's different.
I know Andre down below might have some thoughts on this if he's not violating any secrets as Lindor taps one to third. Oh, it handcuffed Forsythe, but he stayed with it nicely. And that's out number one. Andre, you said that Corey Kluber was really going to intently watch last night's game because it's not a lineup that he sees very often, and he wanted to see how they reacted to certain pitches.
Exactly. He said it wasn't cheating. He said he looked at video, he looked at everything else. But if you don't go against guys and you know how your stuff works against certain guys, he wants to see how they react. And he says he doesn't throw the same stuff as Bauer, but he wanted to see what guys did with inside fastballs, what they did with off-speed pitches, and then he would use it. And he said if it's the Detroit Tigers, he knows those guys. He goes, he pays attention, but it's a little bit different. And even Brad Mills told me he spent the off day and he watched 4 hours of baseball games of the Dodgers. He said you could read all the reports, but he wanted to see the last few starts by their pitchers. So when they did go through those reports, he'd have a better idea what the Dodgers players and pitchers were trying to do to players.
Yeah, so people wonder what's the bench coach do? What does this guy do? The guy spent 4 hours of his off day watching Dodger games.
There are no off days. There really isn't. There's always something going on or something you have to attend to.
Trying to pick up any kind of edge, any advantage, and it might be something small that you picked up on that you saw that might help you win a game. The 1-0 pitch outside.
6-2-0 counts tonight for McCarthy, and he came into the game where he was pretty good on the year. Came in with only 22-0 counts all year long. Has 6 tonight.
Well, he's 3-0 now to Brantley. He was 3-0 to Encarnacion and walked him on 4 pitches.
Yeah, that's his third 3-0 count tonight. Still has only walked 1, and that was Encarnacion, who was leading off the second. And he proceeded to get a double play in that inning off the bat of Chisenhall.
He jammed him there, full count.
Cutter up and in.
Carlos Santana waiting on deck. foul into the lower deck. Look out, folks. Brantley with a double in the first, giving him 2 hits now in the series. As many hits as he had in his previous 5 games combined. Down low, ball 4. So McCarthy has walked his second, and a 1-out base runner for Carlos Santana. Here's Al with a game break.
All right, Matt, Rick, we've got the big story tonight, and the last couple of nights really for the Chicago Cubs. Anthony Rizzo batting leadoff. Last night he hit a home run. Tonight he hit a home run to lead it off. So Joe Maddon tried this with Evan Longoria in Tampa Bay. He does it with the Chicago Cubs. So far, success in 2 games. Ball game tied at 4, fellas, in the 7th.
Watch out, he might keep you there.
That's right.
Isn't that something? How something, you know, you're just trying to shake things up and it works.
Sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. You know, just try something, even if it seems radical, just to shake things up. You said there was a time, was it Dave Garcia just threw all the names in a hat?
Frank Robinson. We were going so bad, he just tore up names, put it in the hat, and you picked out the name.
That's where you hit. Here we go.
Guess who led off?
Big man, Boog Powell.
Powell. Exactly.
He didn't try to drag bunt, did he? To start the game.
Did
he really?
Yeah, he really did. Just joking. He started laughing after he got out of the box. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Because I'm sure the other team looked at the lineup and said, "What in the world?"
Exactly.
I'm sure the opposing manager, whoever you're playing, probably said, "Go over there and ask them if this is real or not."
I'm trying to think if it was. I don't know if it was Billy Martin in Texas then.
Wow. Swung on and misses quickly. 0-2. Well, after 6 consecutive starts where Brandon McCarthy didn't walk more than 1 hitter, he's now walked 2 batters in back-to-back starts. Against the Nationals his last time out, and now here tonight, 2 walks.
But he still knows the players he has to be careful to, you know, and he can sometimes navigate your way through a lineup where you don't want to throw certain guys certain pitches. And he knows that guys have bigger holes than other hitters, and he can attack the other ones.
Well, after he saw Brantley rip that double down the line his first time up, maybe he just was being cautious, especially after he fell behind 3-0.
And then what happened? He came in on Santana and he swung at the first pitch. And normally he's a patient guy, but he got ahead of him, and now he's got him down in the count 0-2.
Archie, you're not going to believe this. It was on this day in 1975.
What?
The game you're talking about where Boog Powell let off.
Get out of here.
It was today's the anniversary.
Who found that out?
Who do you think?
Oh,
Redbird all over.
Are you kidding me?
How about that?
Well, subconsciously it floated to the top, didn't it?
You batted third. Dwayne Kuiper hit cleanup. He had 1 home run in his whole career.
Right. Well, that was the
hilarious.
joke of it. Boog Powell leading off, Kuiper hitting 4th. I mean,
and today just happens to be the anniversary, June 14th, 1975.
Unbelievable. Mike, who was the manager at Texas that year?
That might have been Billy. I'm trying to remember when he went to New York.
I'm thinking, boy, oh boy, I can't believe that anniversary, huh? Well, Redbird won't forget it now. Every June 14th, we'll remember it.
Man, oh man. Because 75-76, those were the Reds back-to-back. The Big Red Machine beat the Red Sox and the Yankees. Santana chopper to second base. Utley backpedals onto the outfield grass. He throws out Santana, 2 down. Brantley into scoring position.
Yeah, really the only play he had there because it was a high hopper.
Now approaching the plate for the Cardinals, number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
All right, Arch, let's see. 1975, Billy Martin was the manager.
I thought he was.
Of the Texas Rangers.
Well, yeah, because Hargrove Mike played for, he was the Rookie of the Year in '74, and he played for Billy there. So '75, yeah. We'll have to ask Grover the next time we see him if he remembers it. Maybe he's in his suite watching. Come on down, Mike. We've got a question for you.
Well, this is weird. I got a man to check this out here. Encarnacion takes outside. Edwin hits a high fly ball to right field, but not deep enough. Puig is there, and the inning is over. Played 4 here in Cleveland. It's the Dodgers 2, the Indians nothing. Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. 2-0, the Dodgers lead it. But Corey Kluber has retired 6 in a row. The 2 runs the Dodgers scored came in the 2nd inning. And they were part of some aggressive base running. A couple of infield hits. Corey has struck out 4 on the night, sitting on 999 career strikeouts. Logan Forsythe takes a low fastball for strike 1. And a ground ball towards second base. Eric Gonzalez throws it out, 1 away.
KeyBank Kids tickets start at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Seats are located in the family deck near the kids clubhouse and are only available at Indians.com.
Jock Peterson had that infield single on a little jam shot that he just rolled up towards third base. He didn't hit it well, but it was just perfectly timed for him. Right place, right time. Hit him off the knee. Yowza. And that'll be a base runner for the Dodgers, and it snaps a string of 7 in a row retired by Kluber.
Well, I heard the groan up here. It's a breaking ball that comes in. He spins and it gets him on the back knee. He thought it might be a fastball in there, but it continued to bear in on him. So be on first after the hit by pitch.
Yasiel Puig, an infield single, his only time up. And a low strike for Kluber, gets ahead. A little low, 1 ball, 1 strike. When you think about the Dodgers in all their history, consider the fact that for 43 years, from 1954 through 1996, they had 2 managers, Walter Alston and Tommy Lasorda. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
And in the last 21 years, Dave Roberts is the 8th different manager of this franchise.
Yeah. Times have changed.
I don't think we'll ever see that again, though, Arch.
No, not that where they stayed that long.
A couple of guys say 20 years each.
No.
Walter Alston managed the Dodgers from 1954 through 76. Lasorda took over 76 through 96.
Well, if you do, you have 2 great men that are leading your team, that's for sure.
Corey Kluber with a 1-2 pitch, flips it to first instead, driving Peterson back to the bat.
I'm trying to think who the longest tenured manager is. Mike Scioscia now at about 18 years with the Angels, 2002. So that's 16. So he might have been there a year or so before they got to the World Series.
Yeah, you're right. He's lasted a long time.
Yeah, he really has.
Kluber ready. The 1-2 in the dirt. Runner holds. It's just very few. We just, as I think, as a society, we're just not patient anymore.
No.
You know, if you don't win now and you don't win next year, we're not going to sit around and wait for very long. Not that Lasorda or Walter Alston had prolonged losing spells, but certainly you think about the Dodgers, they won. They haven't won a World Series since '88.
Right.
But he lasted from '88 until he said goodbye in 1996. And, you know, they won in '81 and not again until '88. So it just, fans, front offices were just not patient. Want to win now.
Well, especially when you taste it one time, you really want to win now.
2-2. Grounded foul. And that isn't just an indictment on that side of it. Look, I think we've all seen where some managers just can't stay in one place for a long time. You know, maybe their personality is too strong and they burn out, or maybe the message just doesn't
They're good at
reach
turning
home.
around organizations or franchises, just like business people.
Look at Buck Showalter. He's been terrific at turning around franchises,
every place he's
getting them
been
going. But he doesn't seem to stay for a long time in any one place.
No, but follow him around, because if you do, you got a chance of winning, because he's got everything in place.
Kluber ready. The 2-2. Swung out and missed. His 1,000th career strikeout. Corey Kluber, the fastest pitcher in Indians history to 1,000 Ks.
Well, it took 5 tonight, and you're going to get a look at all 5. A couple of fastballs inside, a nice little breaking ball there. There's that comeback fastball, and now the breaking ball away to Puig.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Kluber has fanned 5 tonight. He has walked 1. He's given up just 3 hits. But the Dodgers lead at 2-0. And then Chase Utley takes a strike. I thought it was really interesting in that Corey Kluber is now chasing Louis Tiant for 10th place on the Indians all-time strikeout list. Louis Tiant's 1,000th strikeout victim was our guy sitting 2 booths over again tonight. Rick Monday.
Really?
When he was with the was it the Oakland A's or the Kansas City A's? I guess it was the Oakland A's.
Oakland A's.
Came up with the Kansas City A's. There's a ground ball up the middle.
He deflected
Gonzalez goes to Lindor for the inning-ending force. Well, we're halfway through. Tribe has some work to do behind Corey Kluber. They're down 2. I mentioned Corey Kluber's 1,000 strikeouts, fastest in Indians history, and he's now chasing Louis Tiant. And he'll catch him before very long.
Yeah.
And I asked Rick Monday, and he said he remembered that he was the 1,000th strikeout victim. He said,
"Oh yeah."
He goes, "I remember it." And he said, "I'll tell you another thing I remember about facing that Indian staff." Now he's with the A's at the time. He said you'd go over to Old Municipal Stadium, and he said they had, remember Duke Sims behind the plate. And I know you know Duke very well from fantasy camp. He said Duke would sit behind the plate. He'd be catching Sam McDowell, Louis Tiant, Hargan, those blazer throwers that the Indians had. He said he'd catch strike 3 and he'd look over to the other dugout and say, "Next."
I think for some reason I believe that. Next.
Jose Ramirez flied to right his only time up. Here's the line on the 1-2 and a hard ground ball right at Utley. And another out. Brandon McCarthy is rolling along here. Well, since we don't see the Dodgers very often, Rick Monday was the first ever draft pick. When they started the draft in 1965, it was the then Kansas City A's who selected him first overall.
Yeah.
Our Levin player profile also shows that he was an all-star, not only with the A's but also with the Dodgers. And
19 years.
Yeah, he's been behind the mic for a long time.
You know, that was the goal back in those days. When you got to the big leagues, you needed 4 years as a player to even start collecting your pension, or to, you know, to be eligible to receive a pension. and maxed out it would be 20 years. So that was the goal of any ball player. If once you got it, then you shot for 20 years. And how many guys ever reach that plateau?
Deep but foul off the bat of Lonnie Chisenhall.
And nowadays you're a vested member if you get to the big leagues for one day, and it's maxed out at 10 years now. So that's the difference in how far baseball has come for the players.
Line drive caught by Seager, who went up the ladder to snag it for out number 2.
Needed every inch of that frame to get there too. At a time, we had a beautiful look at it from our view as he just times it, and there it is. Made it look easy, but he's about 6'5" and gets up there and takes a hit away from Chisenhall.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, because you were already in the big leagues when it happened in 1976. Rick Monday's an outfielder with the Cubs.
I remember.
It's at Dodger Stadium where he would eventually make his home. But a couple of kids ran on the field, protesters.
Burning the American
They
flag.
were trying to set it on fire.
Right.
And he saw him, ran over, snatched the flag away. He sort of became this symbol for protecting the flag.
Yeah. Oh God, that was huge back in the day when that happened. Yeah, he was like idolized after that, and should have been.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that didn't know anything about baseball maybe, or didn't know anything particularly about Rick Monday, that changed after that day.
Well, it tells you he still loves the game of baseball in his country, because he sits up here, he does a wonderful job at what he does, and he's still in LA loving life. I mean, and that means he cares about baseball. I'm anxious to see how many guys get out of the game of baseball and really want to stay in it as long as some of the guys do nowadays, because they make so much money.
Coming in, Jock Peterson. He's there, makes the catch. The Indians are retired in order. We played 5. It's the Dodgers 2 and the Indians nothing. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It all happened in the second inning. Goofy little infield hit, nothing anybody could do. Grandal scores from third. And then a double steal, and Gonzalez's throw way off the mark. It didn't matter. I don't think they were going to get Taylor anyway.
No,
he was executed well by the Dodgers.
Yes, it was.
And that's been it. Corey Kluber is fan 5. He has not allowed a hit since that second inning. In 2 of the 3 hits in that inning, never went beyond the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
Or I should say they didn't lead the infield. One didn't go beyond the pitcher's mound. The other one was to Lindor at short. But yeah, they really only have 1 solid hit in the game, and yet they turned it into 2 runs.
Yes, they did. The double steal was something. That was something special.
But on the other side of things, the Indians have 1 hit tonight.
And it was a 2-out hit in the first inning.
So here we go in the 6th as Corey Seager stands in, and he shoots it foul down the left side out of play. In the meantime, the Diamondbacks lead the Tigers 2-1 in Detroit. They're now in the 9th inning there. They had a wild game last night.
It was a 6-0 Arizona at the start. Detroit tied it up, and then Arizona
Diamondbacks
won.
ended up winning. Seattle leads Minnesota 5-0. They're in the 5th, so they've roughed up Irvin Santana. 5 runs on 9 hits through 4 innings because they're in the top of the 5th right now. Tigers have just scored 2-1 in the 9th. So we'll see how everything pans out. But the Indians, as we said at the top of the show, they've got to take care of their own business. Swung out and missed. Corey Kluber keeps mowing him down. Strikeout number 6.
Yeah, 3 times he's been able to get Seager.
Well, Arch, believe it or not, tomorrow is already Thursday, which means the world's greatest players battle to be crowned America's champion in golf's can't-miss major of the year. It's the 117th U.S. Open, beginning Thursday on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
It's finally here in Wisconsin.
Justin Turner has grounded out, fly to center. Hit hard left field, and that will go down into the corner. Turner will turn and head to second with a 1-out double.
You know, when it first left the bat, I thought it was going to be hit hard, but it had to be off the end. Well, we saw Bellinger hit a couple of home runs last night. Now, you know that is Bubba Watson, but watch the swing here and the extension, and watch the finishes on both of them. I mean, one's a golf club, one's a baseball bat, but look at this.
They bring it all the way around.
And they can hit the ball a mile, both of them.
With that long extension, I'm asking both of you, and I'm not a pitcher or a hitter, but wouldn't you think you could get inside with some fastballs against Bellinger because of that?
I'm going to tell you something. He swings at more pitches and misses in the strike zone than any hitter, Andre, if you believe that.
Oh, I do, but when you leave it and hang it.
Well, I mean, that's like any hitter. You make a good pitch, you're going to get hitters out. You make mistakes, that's where they make their damage. Hitters will let you know when you make a mistake, and there were 2 made on him last night, and he made them.
Kluber ate him up with a pitch inside earlier tonight, got him to pop it up foul ground to first.
Then he locked him up with that little comeback fastball. So Kluber's pitched him very well. There's a little, I think there was a changeup that got away from him.
Or maybe just a 2-seamer that had a lot of run. That thing went wide of the mark. Bread and butter.
Well, yeah, down and in. It crowds him. He doesn't let him get the hands out or the barrel of the bat out.
Struck him out again. Number 7 for Kluber. He's fanned Bellinger twice tonight.
Now you see, let's look at the sequence. And, you know, the way this kid swung the bat last night, you would think that you would say, boy, there's a guy on second base, runner in scoring position, a first base open, be careful. Kluber went right at him and punched him out quickly. Turner Ward talking hitting right there to Puig.
Boy, Turner Ward, remember, you know, early in his career, the Indians thought he was going to be one of the building blocks.
Yes, I do.
Here in the outfield in the old stadium. Swung out and missed. Turner, Ward, Alex Cole, Bo Allred.
Yeah, that was back in '90, I think.
Yeah. Turner ended up playing quite a few years in the big leagues, though, with a number of different teams.
He was the assistant hitting coach in Arizona, then became the hitting coach, then went to LA for whatever reason.
He's in his second year as the Dodgers hitting coach. Yeah, he ended up spending 12 years in the big leagues with the Indians, Blue Jays, Brewers, Pirates, D-backs, Phillies. And not only is Turner Ward an Indians connection along with manager Dave Roberts, but the bullpen coach is Josh Bard.
Yeah.
He was a catcher alongside Victor Martinez here back 2002 through 05. Then he played for a year in Boston under Tito. Here now is the 1-2 pitch. Down the right field line, but foul. Pulled it. Yasmani Grandal walked and scored in the second, bounced out to first base in the fourth inning. That's with a runner in scoring position and 2 down here in the sixth. We had about an hour rain delay, just shy of an hour delay getting started tonight. But no raindrops have fallen since we started. A little bit outside. Boy, he reached back a little for that fastball at 96 miles an hour. And even though we're only in the sixth, he's closing in on 100 pitches tonight. Which, it's weird, it doesn't seem like he's had to grind through many innings. He has had 3 innings tonight. Another strikeout for Kluber. 8 on the night. But as we head to the bottom of the sixth, the Indians still trail it 2-0. And the Indians looking for some offense. They are down 2. They have 1 hit. And it's Eric Gonzalez, Bradley Zimmer, and Francisco Lindor due up. And it just isn't it crazy how this game is. You talk about last night and the battle, the challenge it is against the Clayton Kershaw. And the Indians had 6 hits in 7 innings against Kershaw. McCarthy, meanwhile, on 77 pitches, has carved his way through the lineup with little or no trouble at all.
Yeah, well, 1 hit, as you mentioned, 2 walks. There was 1 double play mixed in there. 45 of his 77 pitches have been strikes. He had a 22 pitch first inning, a 21 pitch fourth inning, and that's it. 14, a 9, an 11 pitch inning. So he's total control right now. No pressure whatsoever. The only guy in scoring position was Brantley, and that was with 2 outs.
Eric Gonzalez grounded out his only time up. Gonzalez 6 hits and 19 at bats on the year. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but he's done a terrific job, all things considered, when he's had chances.
Well, I think he may get another opportunity to start tomorrow with Hill on the mound. Kipnis' neck is still sore.
Yeah, with a left-hander, yeah, you're right. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Jason Kipnis, by the way, if you joined us late, was a late scratch tonight. Neck spasms. He was originally in the leadoff spot. Bradley Zimmer was batting 9th, but when that arose, Terry Francona jumped Zimmer from the 9th spot to the leadoff position and put Gonzalez in the game at second base and batting him 9th. So Zimmer's on deck with Lindor to follow here in the 6th inning. Downstairs, he lays off. And he's worked the count full. Slow chopper right back to the mound. And McCarthy throws him out, 1 away. Injury report tonight brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And you get a look at some of the injuries for the Dodgers. Sergio Romo out of the bullpen. Scott Kazmir.
That's a shock. He's always on the DL.
He's spent a lot of time on the DL. One thing Dave Roberts doesn't have to worry about is if the Dodgers have money to supplement the roster, add a player here or there. They've surpassed the Yankees when the Yankees just went out and signed everybody and anybody, or so it seemed.
Yeah, very friendly to the contracts that they believe would be worth their while signing.
Zimmer swing and a miss. Zimmer with a line drive base hit into center field on an 0-2 pitch. The Indians have just their 2nd hit of the night. And as Francisco Lindor makes his way to the plate, we go downstairs to Andre.
Prior to tonight's game, Francisco Lindor was out here on the field hitting off a tee. Now, I know, Rick, you saw some of it. We discussed what he was doing because he was using his backhand, not his front hand, trying to get it to go through. He's caught in between right now. He admitted to that to me before the game. He's trying to keep his weight back against off-speed pitches, but the fastball's been getting by him because he's so concerned with that. Yeah. That's why he was working on the tee the way he was before the game.
Yeah, and right now, to me, that tells me he's thinking a little too much, and he's worried about a lot of different things instead of seeing the ball, hitting the ball.
Oh, Zimmer got a great jump, and he is safe at second base. Do you see him holding on to that bag for dear life?
I'm telling you, this kid is going to be a base stealer. He gets a terrific jump. He outruns it, The only part of his game he's going to have to work on is sliding a little bit, but he's going feet first. And you see, with his energy, I mean, and he's a big kid. Once he starts sliding, he keeps going. And it's tough to hold on to those hard bags right there. You know, you slide over them. But that's stolen base number 5 for him, and he's going to be. That's why I like to see him up in that leadoff spot.
Well, he's 5 out of 6. The only one he was caught on is one where he came off the bag.
That's right, off of third base. No, it was at second.
Lindor is swinging a foul, and you know, back to Andre's point. Remember when he relayed us the story that Mike Sarbaugh showed Lindor a spray chart of his hits and how a lot of his hits were clustered to left and to right, but they were pull side. And Frankie looked at it and said, "That's not who I am. I need to use the middle of the field in the opposite way."
Sometimes the harder you try to go the other way, you wait so much and you can't hit the fastball. And like that, you're caught in between.
But that's a broken bat's going to fall for a hit. Zimmer coming around third. They're going to wave him home. Now a late stop sign. Puig firing it back, and Lindor has to scamper back, and he's safe.
Lindor's lucky to get back. That was a mistake by him, but he was able to get back. He was a dead duck if Grandal throws that ball to first base when he should have. You don't test the arm of Puig in right field, and you know you're losing 2-0. He shatters his bat, but that's what he needs to get something going. Watch when he overruns it. Puig sees him going home, so he's going to throw it at home, and then he looked at third. That's where he hesitated. He didn't know. And now that's a good jump. And then he said, "Whoa, late stop. Get back." Now, Frankie, that was a mistake going to second, because if he goes back to first base, he's all done. He was late. He was a step late.
Wow, you talk about a quick hook. Brandon McCarthy was flying along, gives up back-to-back singles, won a broken bat shot, and that's it. Dave Roberts is going to make the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for LA with 1 out in the 6th inning. We'll be right back. Dance like nobody's watching. 2-0.
Nobody is.
The Indians trail it, but threatening now here in the 6th with 2 on and 1 out. And Grant Dayton is the new pitcher, left-hander. Pitched scoreless in relief in 15 of his 18 appearances this year.
You know, he's recalled on June 1st from AAA Oklahoma City.
Surprised that, that Dave Roberts goes to the bullpen so quickly.
No, because he knows McCarthy better than us, and I would think yes, that's probably right. He didn't have a strikeout. Both the hits came on 0-2 pitches.
Just figured, okay,
all right, that's enough. I don't want to let him get it rolling. You're going through the heart of that lineup. See, that makes.
Oh my! How often do you ever see a catcher come up out of his crouch?
He was crossed up.
And then jump back down and get the call like that. Never do you see this happen.
Crossed out. Yeah, see, he's looked like a kangaroo. He goes up and then he sees it's breaking. He comes down. Obviously, the umpire had a good look at it. They're going over the signs again.
Well, one last thing about Brandon McCarthy tonight. His last 4 starts, he has not made more than 87 pitches in any of them, and he was at 89 tonight. So that's
okay.
About par for the course.
You look at 85 pitches for him. That's why he throws so many strikes, and that's why he doesn't walk a lot of people.
Up and away with the fastball. It's 1-1.
Yeah, they needed a hit to get back into this ball game, get this crowd into the ball game. First time all night that they've ever had 2 guys on base in 1 inning.
It's a final in Detroit. Diamondbacks beat the Tigers 2-1. The 1-1 pitch on its way to Brantley. High. 2 balls and a strike. Seattle still leads Minnesota 5-2. They're in the 6th in Minneapolis. Center field. I don't know. Puig's going to take charge.
Why not?
Tagging, coming home is Zimmer. Here's the throw to the plate. It gets by. And down to second base already was Lindor on the throw to the plate. So the Indians are on the board. It's a 2-1 game. As Zimmer comes home, Brantley's 27th run batted in on the year.
Yeah, you got to send him there, but I can see why Puig called him off. He has the best arm. So let your best outfielder, the best arm in the outfield, take it, because he had time to get over there and help him out. He's behind him. He fires a C, but Zimmer, with very good speed, beats it out. And wisely, Lindor gets in scoring position and goes to second base. So Brantley gets the Indians on the board with his sacrifice fly.
Now let me just ask you this. With 1 out in that situation, you always say outfielders hit your cutoff man. Is that a case where Puig should have kept the throw down?
Well, yeah, that's a tying run. That's a tying run.
That's what I
definitely
mean.
On the winning run, but on the you try and keep it down. But his arm's so good, you know,
he's going to try.
He's going to try and throw you out in the air. If you're going to one-hop it, sure. He wasn't deep enough, but that time he wanted to throw him out at the plate and throw a strike. That's why he took charge there.
But now a base hit ties the game. With Carlos Santana at the dish, he is 0 for 2 on the night. Up high, ball 1.
You know, I don't know if there's any arms in baseball that are as good as Puig's, but you don't see many like that anymore. That is as good as they get. So
far in the series, the Indians have 6 hits with fewer than 2 outs, but 5 hits with 2 outs. There's a smash to third, but Forsythe is there.
Oh, what's he doing?
Throws him out. So the Indians get a run. We'll go to the 7th. 2-1 Dodgers. by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. It's a 2-1 ball game. 7th inning, and Corey Kluber back out for the Tribe after he struck out all 3 in the 6th and has punched out 8 in the game. 18 swings and misses tonight for LA hitters. 6 of them came in the 6th inning. Double barrel action in the Cleveland bullpen as Chris Taylor leads off for LA. And Kluber's pitch is inside for ball 1. Corey Kluber became the fastest pitcher to 1,000 strikeouts in Indians history tonight. He's done it in 148 games. Bob Feller did it in 167. He was the previous.
That's pretty impressive right there, I'll tell you.
Sudden Sam 169, CC Sabathia 195, El Tiante 199. 1-2 the count. And he's only the 7th pitcher in MLB history to get to 1,000 strikeouts by career appearance number 150. Kerry Wood, Tim Lincecum, Roger Clemens, Steven Strasburg, Doc Gooden, Hideo Nomo, Corey Kluber.
Nice. I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive.
Swung out and missed. Add another K to the list. Number 9 for Kluber.
Well, that vicious slider down and away. It looks like a strike all the way. It ends up out of the strike zone. And Kluber with number 9.
7 of the 9 have been swinging. And up comes Logan Forsythe, 0 for 2.
Yeah, the 2 called were on the left-handers with the comeback fastball. He had 10 strikeouts in his first start against Oakland coming off the DL back on June 1st. Then on the 9th he followed that up with another 8 strikeouts. Here we go today. He has 9, so averaging 9 in the month of June since coming off the DL with the bad back.
The 0-2. Make it 10. Boy, Corey Kluber seems to be getting better as this game rolls along.
Yeah, you're right. He is getting better. That one a ball all the way, but Forsythe has done a nice job fouling pitches off with 2 strikes to this point. Ends up going down swinging.
The last 6 outs recorded by Kluber have all been strikeouts. Locked in, and Jock Peterson hit by a pitch his last time up. Looks down low, ball 1.
It's reminiscent of that start for Trevor Bauer
against Oakland
when he had what do you have, his last 9 or 10 outs for strikeouts.
It's the 3rd time this year Corey Kluber has struck out 10 batters in a game. He retires the side on an efficient 10 pitches here in the 7th.
The Indians to the 2017 All-Star game in Miami. Fans can vote 5 times a day and up to 35 times total. So visit theindians.com/vote to cast your ballot today.
Well, Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley currently on the outside looking in, but they can certainly push their way out on the roster with a little help from the fans going down the stretch here.
Yeah, continue to vote. Tito wants some friends down in Miami with him. Him and his old coaching staff will be there. And right now he's hoping that the Indians can score a couple of runs.
Josh Fields, hard-throwing right-hander, making his 26th appearance of the year. And he's got Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall due up. Fields has pitched scoreless relief in 21 of his 25 appearances, and he's punched out 31 batters with only 5 walks in his 25 1/3 innings. Fields, a native of Georgia, pitched for the Bulldogs and was a first-round pick of the Mariners in 08. He puts Encarnacion on the hole 0-2. Ball right at the shortstop Seager, and he threw him out. There's a case where he didn't throw it where he wanted to, but he caught a break.
He hit it right where they were playing.
Yeah. Once again, we're participating in the home run challenge. Every home run and strikeout in the game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $2.6 million has been raised. You can make a pledge at homerunchallenge.org. Corey Kluber has done his part tonight, striking out 10. Indians have not had a hitter strike out tonight, but they only have 3 hits and 1 run on the scoreboard. Dodgers have just 2, but they lead it here in the 7th. Josh Fields, as I mentioned, grew up in Georgia, pitched for the Bulldogs, and was originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves. But Fields didn't like the way the Braves negotiated with him. He was a 2nd-round pick by Atlanta, and that was his team.
No
so
kidding.
Imagine how difficult it must have been for him to say no thank you, but it all worked out in the end.
Matter of principle, huh?
Yeah.
He didn't like the way they negotiated.
Whatever it was, whether it was the money they were offering or the way they went about it, he just didn't like it. Went back and became the Georgia Bulldogs all-time saves leader. He's bounced around a little bit. He's been spent time with the Astros. And a foul right back. At one time, early before he got to the big leagues, he went to the Red Sox organization, one of those big deadline deals. In fact, that's how the Astros got him. He was a Rule 5 pick out of the Red Sox organization. Hit hard, deep right, stay fair, tie game. Jose Ramirez with his 9th home run of the season. A laser shot to right field. And that knots the game up at 2 apiece.
They did it late yesterday in the 7th inning where they tied the game up. Perez with a home run off Kershaw to tie it up at 2. They do it again tonight, and tonight is Ramirez. He gets his 9th home run, and that was a line drive, folks. They wanted it up. He missed in.
Remember, he missed the same pitch to Encarnacion, but he grounded out on it. He's having a tough time hitting that high up out of the strike zone target, and that time Ramirez made him pay dearly for it. Lonnie Chisenhall takes down low. It's a ball. Eric Gonzalez conferring with his teammate as Ramirez delivers in the clutch here in the 7th.
He did. That's his.
And now Lonnie launches one deep right field, and it's just foul. Fans saying no, we think it's fair, but the umpire on the scene called it foul, and that was Chris Guccione down the right field line.
Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, there you get a good look. See if it goes in front of the pole.
Yes,
it does. You can see the ball
doesn't it graze
all
it,
the way.
kiss it?
I mean,
No.
that was only you're talking a matter of inches, folks. And they would have had the lead. My goodness.
That time he hit the target up out of the strike zone.
Yeah, Fields that home run he gave up to Ramirez, his 5th of the year.
And Lonnie nearly went back-to-back with Jose. He's still got an opportunity here, but down on the count now 1-2. Fouled out of play.
Watch the fastball. They want up and away, and it comes in. And Ramirez just reacts quickly. I mean, look how those hands shoot through the area, the hitting zone. Right down the line. Didn't have time to hook foul.
I'll tell you what, Grandal really likes that idea of trying to get hitters to chase his high fastball.
You look at the line score, a lot like last night right now. 2-4-0-3 for the Dodgers, 2-4-0-3 for the Indians. It's almost identical to last night.
Again, they continue to pound him up. They're trying to get him to chase. Lonnie's able to get up to that pitch and at least fight it off. Breaking ball. Lonnie went down on a knee, golfs it deep to left, but caught by Taylor for out number 2. Down to Andre.
You know, last night the Indians got down late in the game, but they battled all the way to the last out. Tino said that he wasn't in the dugout, but the one thing he was proud of is that his team played to the last out, something that was reminiscent of last season. He says, when we had all those meetings, he said, I didn't think we were going to win 10 games in a row. I just want these guys to play hard and keep themselves in games so they can win late or win early or however it takes to win. He says, when we don't give ourselves a chance to do that, that's when he gets most frustrated with his team. And tonight has been one of those nights where they've hung on and haven't done everything perfect, but they're hanging around till late in the game.
Yeah, did so last night as well.
Yan Gomes 0 for 2 is the batter. Gomes popped up on the infield in the 3rd, fly to center in the 5th. And a breaking ball in the dirt. Andrew Miller is up in the Indians bullpen. Ball to strike, barely grazed the outside corner. 1-1. Seattle leads Minnesota 6-4 now in the 7th inning in Minneapolis. Up and in. He missed 2 balls and a strike. Yan Gomes has put himself in a good spot here. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, just make him get the fastball. If you're looking for the fastball, make him bring it down.
Low and away, ball 4. So now the go-ahead run is aboard with 2 out in the 7th inning. And up comes Eric Gonzalez. And Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, maybe headed out to visit. So you've got Gonzalez, and then the left-handed hitting Zimmer waits on deck. So this could be the last hitter, you would suppose, for Josh Fields. For the Indians, who had 1 hit through the first 5 innings. They used a couple of singles and a stolen base to turn that into a run in the 6th. And the home run by Jose Ramirez here in the 7th to tie the game. And it would appear that it will be a bullpen battle the rest of the way. Corey Kluber, he's right at, or if not just above, 100 pitches on the night. And Andrew Miller is up and looks ready to come in for Cleveland. Kluber's at 106, I'm told, officially. Yeah, I would have to imagine his night's over. Eric Gonzalez takes a strike. He has grounded out twice tonight.
Well, LA trying to make it tough. Their outfield extra deep, no double defense.
Curveball, and it's 0-2. High fastball lays off, 1-2. For the life of me, I look at Josh Fields, Justin Turner, getting the hot months of the summer. I don't know how in the world a beard like that could be comfortable.
I know it. I hear you loud and clear.
That fastball missed upstairs. 2-2.
Well, he got him for strike 2 on that breaking ball, and he just threw him a high fastball. Tried it 2 times in a row. If he follows up with a hook right here, let's see, or is he going to go fastball away?
Fastball, and he blew it right by him. But the Indians have tied the game on the 9th home run of the year by Jose Ramirez here in the 7th. And it is 2-2 headed to the 8th. Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Corey Kluber went 6 terrific innings here tonight, striking out 10 Dodgers hitters. Third time he has struck out 10 in a game this year, and he yields now to Andrew Miller to pitch the 8th inning.
Miller, as we know, came on in yesterday's ball game when an inning in 2/3. Took the loss in that game, gave up the first home run he surrendered all year long. But he's coming on to face Puig, Utley, and Seager, the scheduled hitters. And I see Hernandez on deck, Kiki Hernandez.
Yasiel Puig takes down an in-ball 1. Kind of get the feeling that even though Andrew Miller pitched an inning in 2/3 last night, that he probably lobbied with Terry Francona that if the situation arises, I want back in there tonight. Because Tito knows how important Miller is to this team's long-term goals. And a lot of times you see a guy work multiple innings, he doesn't bring him right back the next night. But I do know he wants to win this game very badly.
Absolutely. You know, and of course,
and so does Miller.
Andrew's going to go out there and try and minimize his pitches and throw strikes and get outs early. He doesn't necessarily want to get strikeouts. He would appreciate if those guys would put in play and make outs quickly.
Miller goes with his fastball and Puig fouling it back. 2-2. As they wait for it to trickle back down.
Well, there you see the pitches over the last week for Miller.
Right field near the line. That's where Lonnie was playing him. 1 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It's all about Corey Kluber tonight. He needed 5 strikeouts to get his 1,000th, and he certainly did that. He had another great curveball, slider, whatever you want to call it. Threw some nice changeups, command of the fastball. He had that little comeback fastball into the left-handers. Kept his team in a ball game. They scored their 2 runs in the 2nd inning, and one was on a double steal and an infield hit where he had 2 strikes and a chance to get out of it. So he really pitched a fine ball game.
In there for a strike on the fastball, and it's 1-2. Enrique Kike Hernandez out of Puerto Rico. Down on the count, 1-2. Right field, this one's well hit. Back is Lonnie Chisenhall to the wall, and it is gone. And for the 2nd night in a row, the Dodgers have bedeviled Andrew Miller with a solo home run to take the lead.
I mean, this is a carbon copy of last night's ball game. 2-2. He pinch hit last night and faced Miller and had a chance to hit a ball nicely to right field. There's the swinging room, a fastball away after going inside. Chisenhall going back. This one gets into the seats. The other one hit on top. He can't believe it. Up and away. A solo home run, and the Dodgers take a 3-2 lead.
And Lindor with a diving stop, but can't come up with it cleanly. And Corey Seager has.
He didn't hurt himself, did he? That
infield
hand
single.
Looking at that left hand when he dove, and didn't get up quickly. Watch at the glove hand. He's going in the hole to dive for it. There it is. You see him? That glove came off that hand in a hurry. Don't know. He still has it off. Let's keep an eye on that. Don't know if it's anything, but
boy, oh boy. Justin Turner, the batter, 1 for 3, doubled his last time up, takes outside ball 1. I don't know who's more stunned, the fans sitting here watching or Andrew Miller himself. He seemed to be absolutely stunned that that ball hit by Hernandez went out of the ballpark.
Out 3-0 to Justin Turner.
I don't know that we've ever really seen Andrew frustrated, but he appears to be agitated right now.
That is the first time the Indians bullpen has given up a response run this year after the Indians tied up the game late in the ball game.
Yeah, you can see him. He's barking at himself after those last couple of pitches.
You know, Bellinger last night got the breaking ball and hit it out of here, hit on top. That was a breaking ball, and that was his 3rd breaking ball to Bellinger in a row. He went 3 fastballs, although the 2 before that to Hernandez were inside. He went up and away, and he shot him again to right field.
Three-two Dodgers. They've got 2 on and only 1 out. And a pitch for a strike to Cody Bellinger. And it's outside 1-1. Missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a foul right back as Bellinger stays alive. Boy, Corey Kluber tied him up in knots tonight. He jammed him, fouled him off to first base in the 2nd inning, and then he struck him out looking with a beautifully placed fastball in the 4th and carved him up swinging with a strikeout in the 6th inning. Now the 2-2 and a foul back. You think about Andrew Miller giving up home runs in back-to-back games, the way he has pitched since coming to Cleveland. And the only thing I can think of immediately to equate it would be like watching the '85 Chicago Bears defense give up back-to-back 4th and long. It just doesn't happen. You just don't expect it. You're stunned that it's even happened.
Yes, you know, those guys, they worked hard. They hit a couple of, one hit a hanger, the other hit a fastball away. Not an easy thing to do off this guy. But he's having to work hard now. A walk, you mix in a walk, which he never walks anybody.
Tapped it foul. That's a great shot. Did you see that shot? We had Chase Utley and Enrique Hernandez, Kike Hernandez, who hit the home run. Utley's got the graying hair.
Yeah.
Hernandez is still nice and blonde.
Yeah. I don't think that's the original.
And Miller with a walk to loaded. And Tito doesn't know what to do, I don't think. He's got Zach McAllister up in the bullpen, but this is a tough spot to bring him in with the bases loaded and only one out. So at least for now, he's going to stay with Miller.
Well, he wants him to face this guy from the right side of the plate and hopes he can induce a double play. Or get the strikeout, one of the two.
Infield partway in. Ground ball right at Lindor. They can turn two here.
There you go.
Gonzalez, he might have come off the bag early. The Dodgers are pointing and screaming, but the call is a double play. Now, let's see what the Dodgers are going to do as Dave Roberts comes out of the dugout. He's going to challenge the play at second, and I got to believe he's going to win.
Well, it's a tailor-made. There's no hurry for Gonzalez. He's nowhere near the bag. How can that happen? I mean, there was plenty of time. There's no reason to come off. That's unbelievable. This, oh my goodness, he's not even close. They better stay in the field. He was a foot off the base. I mean, nowadays, you don't have to worry about cheating. There's no runners bearing down on you. It was a one-hopper.
The runner was out at second base. Officials at replay command center in New York reviewing that previous play.
Well, it is a Dodgers challenge.
Well, I thought initially that he was going to call him safe because he was so far off the base, but I'm watching the second base umpire, Carlos Torres, who's there on your left, and I'm thinking, well, he called him out, but I'm thinking, oh man, he looked like he was way off the bag. So that's going to cost him a run. And here
that has to be an error.
Call.
Not even close.
Yep.
Not even close.
So the run will score, and
guy's out at first base. Wow. Unbelievable.
Second night in a row, you've had something like that happen. I don't think you can. Well, how do they score that?
That's got to be an error. It's got to be an error. I mean, a fielder's choice error.
You know how goofy that is?
No error.
They say you can't assume a double play.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, we'll try to sort it all out. Disappointing, though. Andrew Miller is out. McAllister is in. We'll be right back. assume a double play. There was no instant replay. Now that you can review plays, you certainly can assume a double play because this should have been one. But Gonzalez came off the bag, and after video review, the call of the field on the field of a double play was overturned.
That's mind-boggling. I can see sometimes if you come off an inch or two, but not a foot.
So
on a one hopper.
On the official scoring rules, there is no error charged, but that's certainly
a huge error.
Is a miscue, and a big one in this game.
Yeah.
Instead of a one-run game, the Dodgers now have a two-run cushion. Zach McAllister to face Chris Taylor, and it's in there for a strike. McAllister's 21st appearance on the year. Two down, and Taylor in the hole 0-2. And a broken bat line drive single to center. One run will score. Here comes a second run. Throw cut off, and the Dodgers tack on two more.
Three-run mistake. There it is. But this is so like last night's game. It's scary.
As Yogi Berra once said, it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
For the Dodgers,
got enough of it to get it into center field. Adds on two more. Six-2 ball game. That sent the fans packing, didn't it?
Yeah, a few of them are headed home. Last night the Indians were down 7-2 going into the ninth before they rallied. But tonight down 6-2 after an incredible turn of events for the second night in a row.
Yeah, that coming too on an 0-2 pitch.
Runner goes, no throw. And a steal for Taylor, his sixth, make it his seventh. He stole home earlier tonight.
Yeah, well, right there, he's just taken off after the 4-run lead. They're not even concentrating on him there.
Two balls, two strikes. McAllister ready in the 2-2. Up high, full count. Boy, did Atlanta do a number on Washington tonight. Braves beat the Nationals 13-2, wrapping out 16 hits in the process. Mariners still lead the Twins 6-4. They're in the 8th in Minnesota. And McAllister with a pitch that just missed for ball 4. And there are two on with two out, and the ninth man to bat in the inning is Jock Peterson. pop-up on the infield. Out goes Lindor, called off by Brantley, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers score 4 to take the lead, 6-2. Forthcoming. Changes for LA. New pitcher is Luis Avilan, making his 25th appearance of the year. He'll be facing the top of the order. Defensively, Kiki Hernandez will stay in and play second base. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Bradley Zimmer, as Daniel Robertson will lead it off.
Now leading off for the Tribe, number 99, Daniel Robertson.
I want to send out birthday wishes to Keith Castor of Lorraine, turning 75. Happy birthday, Keith.
I understand our buddy Bill Schubert is celebrating his birthday tonight.
Billy, happy birthday to you as well.
Daniel Robertson takes a strike. Robertson last night with a 3-run homer in the ninth. 2 hits on the night. He also doubled, scored a couple of runs. Slowly tapped to short. Seager, low throw, but he got him one away. It's the biking event of the summer. Velasano.org/Cleveland Indians. All the details on how you can team up with the Tribe, help raise money to fight cancer. You can ride with Sandy Alomar. You can just pedal your bicycle around the warning track here at Progressive Field. Check it out. 1 away for Francisco Lindor, who is 1 for 3 out on the night. Avilan with a breaking ball for a strike. Dodger bullpen first in the National League with a 2.78 ERA. They've given up a 2.13 batting average against. That's tied for first.
Yeah, they can be very stingy.
Struck out the most batters among bullpens in the National League.
And their starting rotation has the best ERA in the National League as well. So they've got a good combination working.
Rick Honeycutt, who is the Dodgers pitching coach, certainly deserves a lot of credit for shaping this rotation and its bullpen. But I'm sure even he would tell you, look, the credit goes to the guys who are out there on the bump, because he was once one of those guys. But under his tutelage since 2006, they're first in the majors in ERA, strikeout to walk ratio. So fair, just inside the chalk off the bat of Lindor. He's headed to second base, and he'll go in there standing with a 1-out double. His second hit of the night.
Well, there's a line shot going the other way. Watch, that's a breaking ball that he let it track deep into the zone and just stayed right on top. Got on top of that ball and just lined it down there. Almost caught some chalk. So Frankie goes cruising into second, his 18th double of the year.
And it's going to bring up Michael Brantley, who has doubled, walked, and drove in a run with a sac fly, as the Dodgers now get Pedro Baez up in the bullpen. Ground and foul. You know, I didn't realize Rick Honeycutt pitched 21 years in the big leagues.
He pitched that long? I didn't realize it either.
Rick, his first year was with Seattle in 1977.
I remember that.
His last year was with St. Louis in 1997.
Wow.
That's incredible. Yeah. Honeycutt pitched with the Mariners. And then he spent time with the Texas Rangers, the Dodgers, the A's, the Yankees, the Cardinals. And then he doubled back a couple of times. He doubled back with both.
As many left-handers do.
He doubled back with both Texas and with Oakland. He had a couple of stops in each of those places. Originally drafted and signed by the Pirates in 1976 and was in the big leagues the next year. That's rare. You know, I think back then.
Yeah. To be in there, yeah, the very next year.
Well, I suppose, do you think that had something to do with expansion? Seattle was a new team.
Very well could have been.
For,
yeah, you had to protect guys. Sure.
Looking for help. Let's
Absolutely.
go.
If he was drafted in '76, yeah, Seattle came into the league in '77. So yeah, I think it had a lot to do with it. They didn't protect him, and he was drafted.
Avilan's 0-2 to Brantley in the dirt. Second night in a row, the Dodgers and Indians have played a 2-2 draw until the late innings. And both nights the Dodgers have been able to pull away late. Michael Brantley to center field, and on the run he won't get it. Peterson tries to cut it off, tears up the turf. Lindor scores. Brantley trades places with him. His second double of the night, his second run batted in. He has 28 on the year, and it's now a 6-3 ball game.
Well, he plugs the gap in left center field, caught a breaking ball down. And Peterson trying to catch it, but he cut it off nicely. But you can see the turf gives way a little bit, but Brantley can cruise into second base. All right, they cut that lead in half now, 6-3.
And Carlos Santana 0 for 3 tonight at the plate.
6 hits for the Indians now, 3 doubles, a home run.
Carlos Santana just 2 for his last 28 at the plate. Now the 1-1. The former Dodger, Carlos Santana, at least he came up in their organization, has only 1 hit in 15 at bats against LA. Beats this one into the ground. 2 down. Edwin Encarnacion coming up.
Well, Roberts may be taking a stroll out. He's checking to see if Baez is ready, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Enough of the left-hander. Give me my right-hander.
So a timeout with 1 on and 2 out here in the 8th inning, and the Tribe down 6-3. We'll be right back.
An inning last night at zeros across the board. Coming on to try and get the final out, Dave Roberts said, all right, I didn't want to leave my left-hander in there. One swing of the bat could bring it to within 1 run. So the right-hander comes in to try and get him out of the 8th inning.
Carlos Santana and Edwin Encarnacion a combined 0 for 13 so far against the Dodgers.
He cut that one loose.
Did he ever?
First pitch 99, man, that had some hair on it.
I mean, both of them. Not only was the pitch had the velo, but I mean Encarnacion unleashed a vicious swing at it. Yeah, they always say though, when the pitcher's providing all the power, you don't need to swing as hard,
you don't. But the harder you throw it, sometimes the harder you want to swing it.
Yeah.
But if he's locating it up there, you're not going to catch up to it. You can't do it. You might foul it off, but I don't think you're going to hit it out unless you start early. The stars align right.
Fouled off. It stays 0-2. Indians down 3 here in the 8th. Regardless of whether or not they score anymore, if they can keep the Dodgers off the board, they're going to see Jansen in the 9th. Check the swing, and it's going to work out perfectly into right field. Coming around and scoring is Michael Brantley. And the Indians have cut the gap to 2 runs at 6-4. Look at that smile from Eddie.
Well, there's more than one way to get a base knock. They're playing 3 on the left side, and it's a check swing, and it gets through the infield on the right side for an RBI. Look how easy this game is. I didn't want to. Excuse me. Check your swing. Get a base hit.
Check your swing at the door, please.
Yeah, he certainly did. But can I have my ribeye steak, please? There's one more coming in. So it's a 6-4 game. So now the tying run comes to home plate.
And it's that man again, Jose Ramirez, who homered to tie the game in the 7th inning. Those who have remained, a little buzz in the crowd now. 4 pitches, 4 strikes from Pedro Baez. And it's outside ball 1.
Well, last time Jose got to the plate, he caught a fastball on the inside part of the plate, drove it down the right field line to tie this ball game. I mean, that was a vicious line drive. His 9th home run.
Baez and Ramirez chatted it up before the ball game in front of the Dodger dugout. There's another line drive deep right field. That's going to be a fair ball. It'll go down into the corner. Coming into third, Encarnacion will have to stop there. The throw into second, not in time. And the Indians have second and third with 2 down. He just didn't get enough lift to hit that one out of here.
But boy, how close was that at second base?
It was a very close play. The Dodgers are debating on whether or not to challenge this.
98-mile-an-hour fastball turned on in the corner. It hits the padding. Watch Pig with bare hand just up and throws a nice. No, I think he got in there. You'll see the tag. There's the hands on the base. He's safe. But boy, made it really close. But there's the tying runs in scoring position. 4 hits in the inning, 3 of them doubles.
And now Lonnie Chisenhall with a chance, 0 for 3 on the night. And a foul right back. That ball hit 100 miles an hour coming in. Whew. But as Ramirez just showed you, it doesn't matter how hard it comes out of the pitcher's hand. If it's straight, if it's in the hitting zone, these guys can do some damage with it. And it's fouled on the left side, out of play, and Lonnie's in the hole 0-2.
I like the Encarnacion hit. A check swing. Excuse me. Little base hit keeps it going.
Indians, how about this? The Indians had 4 hits in the game coming into the inning, and they have 4 hits now here in the 8th. Goofy game.
It's a lot like last night's game.
Yeah, everything happened late.
It's almost like an instant replay.
The 0-2. And a pop-up. Seager. And he gives way to the third baseman Forsythe, and that will end the inning. Well, the Indians get a little closer. They chip away. Couple of doubles, couple of big RBI hits. It's a 6-4 game as we go to the ninth.
Dodgers lead the Tribe 6-4. Al Pulowski, Jensen Lewis here in center field. And well, Jensen, a couple of things you can say. Number one, the Tribe still has that no quit in them as they scored a couple of runs last inning, but also the double play that wasn't with Eric Gonzalez at second base, that has really hurt the Tribe.
A lot of mental mistakes tonight, but if you're going to try and beat a first place team like the Los Angeles Dodgers, you got to make the fundamental plays. Still some fight in this team. It'll be an interesting ninth inning.
Join us for Indians Live after the game, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Right after this one, back to the booth we go. Here are Matt and Rick.
And hopefully Zach McAllister can keep it right at 2 runs.
Oh, it's a must now. You have to put a 0 on the board.
This is where the Dodgers really broke the Indians' hearts last night. They put up 3 in the 9th. It's going to be tough anyway with big old Kenley Jansen getting warm in the Dodger bullpen. You see Daniel Robertson in center field now. Yasiel Puig 1 out of 3 with an infield single. Bullseye with a fastball. 2-1. Good fastball. Painted the outside corner that time. It's 2-2.
Yeah, Puig didn't like it, but that ball had a little comeback. That was a good pitch. Gomes sitting away. That's, I mean, just a perfect pitch on the outside edge. Can't hit it, you don't swing. And you hope they call it a ball. Well, he called it a strike.
Threw it right by him. Have a seat.
There's that fastball. He challenged him. There it is, 96. Come at you. He's still upset at the pitch, and he walks away at that call before that. And you can't let that affect you. He had another opportunity to swing the bat. Besides, it was a good pitch anyway.
Kike Hernandez. His home run off Andrew Miller stunned the crowd, kind of knocked Miller into a funk as he would give up then a base hit and a couple of walks back to back. Oh, opposite field drive off the fastball.
Watch Miller's reaction. He can't believe that that ball got out, but it did. Are you kidding me? He can't believe it. But for the second night in a row, the Dodgers burn him with a home run, a solo home run in the 8th inning. There's the big boy if it stays a safe situation. Maeda is on the other side getting loose in case they add on and take it out of a safe situation.
Foul right back. Kike Hernandez, his dad, Enrique Sr., is a scout for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he's been around baseball. No question about that his whole life.
This is a nice little guy coming off of the bench that packs a wallop. Madison Bumgarner, one of the toughest left-handers in that National League. I think he has 3 home runs off him.
There's a liner to left.
That's a good swing on the baseball.
Revisiting tonight's storylines brought to you by Mazda. Indians were hoping for an early response. Instead, they fell behind 2-0, but Corey Kluber kept them in the game by striking out 10 and notching his 1,000th career strikeout as a member of the Indians. Timeout for a pitching change. Indians down 6-4 in the ninth. I almost forgot he was even on the ball club. We haven't seen him, but this is only his second appearance.
Number 57, Kyle Crockett.
Well, and to tell you the truth, there's only one out here. He may be on for just this hitter. As I see Otero working up in the bullpen for Turner, who was on deck, I would believe.
Throw over, and that drives Hernandez back to the bag. Crockett misses with a slow hook inside. Down low, 2-0. There's a good pitch on the outside corner. One on, one out here in the ninth. Indians down 6-4. Seager struck out 3 times against Corey Kluber tonight. And then picked up an infield single against Andrew Miller in the 8th. His 3rd hit in the series, and he has been able to score a couple of runs. Fouled right back. Hernandez not much of a lead over there, but Crockett keeping an eye on him. And the 2-2 is lined right back up the middle and through. Hernandez will try to go to third, and he will make it there easily. So Dodgers at the corners with 1 out.
And back comes Tito, I'm sure.
He looks to Mickey Callaway, and now pauses as he reaches the first step.
He's got to go get him. Double play in order.
And he will bring on Dan Otero with 2 on and 1 out on the 9th, and we'll be right back.
The Dodgers have runners at the corners. Hernandez at third, Seager at first, and Dan Otero coming on. Fourth man out of that bullpen tonight for the Indians, and he's going to face Justin Turner. Would love to get a double play ball. Danny Otero, the sinker baller, gets a lot of ground balls, and you just hope that Turner can hit one at the boys. Remember, it was the unturned double play back in the 8th inning that added a couple of extra runs. Actually, 3 runs to the Dodgers.
Yeah, a couple of defensive mistakes by the Indians have been oh so costly in his first 2 games. Downstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, well, they scored a run earlier on the double steal, first and third. So Gomes goes out and puts a sign on what they're going to do, whether you throw through or not. The second time they tried it in the game, they were able to get him because he went right to third base.
Turner pops one. Tough play. And it's made by Santana on a full sprinting back pedal. And the danger there is that with Gonzalez cutting over, it's a lot harder for infielders to call for a ball on a little kind of a bloop shot like that. So you just hope they don't run into each other.
Here's the first double steal. Gomes throws through. And I'll tell you, Gonzalez almost got Kluber in the head, but Taylor ran that beautifully. The next time, the very next hitter they tried it, the next time, Puig with Peterson on third. He didn't run it right, and he got caught. He got nabbed off at third base. But they ended up getting a run that way tonight.
Now the pitch to Cody Bellinger is way outside, ball 1. Smashed hard. Oh, what a stop by Eric Gonzalez there. He throws him out and saves a couple of runs, perhaps. This was a nice play on a ball absolutely smoked. Now we'll see if the Indians have a rally in them when we come back.
Well, we got to take a look at it again. Almost a replay of last night. Hernandez gets a fastball up and away and drills it to right field for a home run. And then the unturned double play where it was routine. They would have got out of the inning, kept it a 3-2 game. The run scored. They said no. Another base hit. Added 2 more on it. And boy, that just is the difference in the ball game. I'm sorry to say, man, you give up extra runs and it's going to come back to haunt you. And it certainly has tonight.
In the bottom of the 9th inning, now on to hit for Los Angeles. Number 74,
Kenley Jansen making his 27th appearance of the year. He's punched out 44, has not walked a batter. He's trying to go 13 out of 13 in saves. And here in the bottom of the ninth, it will be Yan Gomes, Eric Gonzalez, and Daniel Robertson. Breaking ball fouled out of play. Kenley Jansen, the Dodgers' all-time saves leader, surpassing Eric Gagne last year, who was the franchise leader in saves. Their bullpen catcher, who we watched throw BP the other day. 0-1 pitch downstairs. Rob Flippo. Rob Flippo literally short arms the ball. You watch him throw BP. He takes the ball back, and instead of taking it back like you would think somebody would traditionally throw ball, he takes the ball, separates his hands, goes
throwing
right
darts
to his ear.
It's like
and
throwing
just
darts.
Boom. Yeah, it's literally like watching a guy at a dart.
Yeah.
But anyway, he warmed up Gagne for all of his saves, and he's warmed up Jansen for every one of his saves.
No kidding.
That's kind of a neat little, in the shadows sort of note in Dodger history. Out of play. People always love to know the stories behind numbers, and Jansen wears an odd number, 74. And they tell me that was the house number that he grew up on back in Curacao.
Okay.
Where he's from, in the Netherlands. The 1-2 pitch. Upstairs with it.
Well, you see, we've seen a lot of signs tonight and last night. When they get to 2 strikes, Dodgers love to throw that fastball upstairs. Rendell has called a lot of. Let's go upstairs, upstairs. There it is. 1, 2, 3, cutter up. 3, breaking ball, fastball away. Bread and butter.
Gomes with a bouncing ball to third, and Forsythe throws him out 1 away.
And then now for the Rockies, number 9, Eric Gonzalez.
So up comes Eric Gonzalez, 0 for 3 on the night. Swung out and missed. Good fastball inside part of the plate, and Gonzalez just swung right through it. It's 0-2.
Well, you get up there and you're looking for that cutter off him, and then he sinks one inside. There it is.
Threw it by him, and there are 2 down on the ninth.
Wastes no time.
By all accounts, Jansen is very well liked within the Dodger organization. Coming up through the ranks, one of his minor league stops, he learned from Charlie Huff. And Charlie Huff couldn't say enough nice things about Jansen and the way he took to coaching and instruction. And Don Newcomb, who's a Dodger legend, 90 years old.
Yeah.
But he took Jansen under his wing, and Jansen refers to Newcomb as sort of his father in the U.S. There's a bunt. That's going to go foul. Robertson almost got the tying run to the plate. He thought it had stayed fair, and then just learned from Sandy Alomar, no, it trickled foul. You've got to go back and try again.
Boy, what a very good idea, man. Just get it down and get that tying run to the plate and the spin on that. And after it rolled off that grass, if it stayed on, it's there. Golden. Whoa, what a good idea. And it's just foul.
A little bit outside.
Wasn't going to give him a chance to bunt that one.
And a 1-1 pitch fouled out of play. I thought it was kind of interesting reading about the relationship between Newcomb and Jansen, because Newcomb said, it's not like I don't even feel like I'm the elder passing on advice. We have just an eye-to-eye relationship. I don't feel like I'm any kind of a mentor or anything like that. He said, I'm just a sounding board. You want to talk pitching, you want to talk about the mental side of the game. He's just there for support. The 1-2. Robertson fouls it back. Sometimes we lose sight of the fact that these young players like a Jose Ramirez, they come from a foreign country. It's nice to have somebody that has been through it and that can be there just as
be a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be a friend.
That's it. You hit
we
the
don't
nail
have
on the
to
head.
talk. You know what? I can sit down and maybe talk 2 weeks with you and never mention baseball, but be there when I need you.
Ground ball right at the second baseman. Hernandez throws him out, and the Dodgers have won the first two. They run their win streak to 6 in a row. They're 41-25. Meanwhile, the Indians have slumped back to the 500 mark at 31-31 on the year, as they've dropped the first two in the series. The Indians also now 14-17 here at Progressive Field. So these two games in this series really carbon copies of each other.
Boy, it was. It was almost like let's show a replay. Played them great for the first 7 innings, and then the amazing thing, you go to your bullpen, which is your strength, and Andrew Miller comes in and in back-to-back nights gives up a home run. I don't know if that'll ever happen again the rest of his career, but it happened the first 2 nights of this series. But there is no quit. They battled back. They made a couple of mistakes tonight, though, Matt. That unturned double play, with the foot off the bag by Gonzalez, and then the base hit after Miller came out and walked 2 more guys, just broke the back of the Indians. It didn't break their will, but it broke their back, and it's tough to beat a good team when you give up 3 runs.
Yeah, a 4 spot
Yeah,
is tough to overcome on any night.
Exactly.
Let alone in the 8th inning against the Dodgers. So the Indians will try to avoid the sweep tomorrow with the noontime start in the series finale. We'll be here to bring it to you then. So until then, for Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Indians Live with Alan Jensen is coming up next.